3 reasons we are definitely not in a housing bubble here in Fredericksburg and Kerrville, Texas. Hey guys, my name is Ryan with the Rendon Realty Group. And if you want to watch more videos just like this one, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that little bell right next to it as well so you can get notified anytime I put out great videos just like this one. So home values have appreciated by about 10% across the nation, and even more so here in the Texas Hill Country. And many experts are predicting that we'll see about a 5% increase for 2021. And of course, this has a lot of people thinking, are we getting ourselves into a little housing bubble like we saw just over a decade ago? Well, today's video, I want to talk about 3 reasons why this market is totally different. Reason number 1, this time, housing supply is extremely low. So the price for any market item is always determined by the supply and the demand. So if the supply is really high, but the demand is low, well, of course, that's going to decrease the value of that item. On the other hand, if the demand is really high, but the supply is low, well, that's going to increase the value. So in real estate, the supply and the demand is measured by months of inventory. So a balanced market is right at 6 months. So anything over 6 months is considered a buyer's market. Typically the prices will decrease, and anything under 6 months is considered a seller's market, which typically housing prices will appreciate. So between 2006 and 2008, the nation's inventory was at 5 months, but rose all the way up to 11 months and stayed above 7 months, 27 out of the 36 months. But housing prices continue to rise. So inventory has been under 5 months for the last 3 years, under 4 for the last 13 of 14 months, and under 3 for the last 6 months. And currently, we're sitting at about a month and a half of inventory. And one thing to remember, if the supply is low, but that demand is high like we've seen, the prices start to go up. During the housing boom of the mid-2000s, there's what Robert Schilling of Yale called an irrational exuberance, which is defined as unfounded market optimism that lacks a real foundation of fundamental valuation, but instead rests on psychological factors. And without considering any historical trends, people got caught up in this frenzy and started buying houses based off of unrealistic beliefs that housing values would continue to escalate. And then the mortgage industry fed into all this craziness by basically giving a loan to just about anyone. So this is all based off of an index. So the higher the index is, the easier it is for somebody to get a loan. And the lower the index is, well, the harder it is. So right before the boom occurred, the index was sitting right around 400. During the boom, it was in the upper 800s, so super easy for anybody to get a loan. And currently today, we're right around 122. So we are well below what that index was even before the boom over a decade ago. Reason number 3, this time households have plenty of equity. So, during that time, it wasn't just home buyers that got caught up in all that craziness. It was actually homeowners as well. They were doing something pretty dumb, to be honest. They're using their house as an ATM. From 2005 through 2007, there was $824 billion worth of equity that's basically being pulled out to go pay for a bunch of dumb stuff. Go on vacations, buy extravagant cars, basically to buy a bunch of things they really didn't need, but you're just not supposed to do that with your home equity. So when it came time to the market dropping down and falling off the cliff, you had homeowners defaulting, couldn't pay for their mortgage. And once it came time to sell, their home wasn't worth what they owed on it because they pulled all that equity. So this caused a big old avalanche of foreclosures once this whole crisis started. And today, the banks and American people have learned a valuable lesson from what we went through just over a decade ago with the housing crash. And right now, the cash out refinances, the volume for the last 3 years is below a third of what we saw of the 3 years leading up to the crash. This conservative approach has created equity levels we just haven't seen before. And according to Consensus Bureau, 38% of all owner-occupied homes across the United States are owned free and clear. And according to the 2020 Home Equity Report, 17.8 million residential properties in the United States were considered equity rich, meaning that the combined estimated amount of loans secured by those properties was 50% or less of their estimated market value. The count of equity-rich properties in the fourth quarter of 2020 represented 30.2%, or about 1 in 3 of the 59 million mortgage homes in the United States. Okay, so if we can combine the 38% of homes that are owned free and clear with that 18.7% of homes with a mortgage, but have at least 50% equity, we realize that that's 56.7% of all homes in the United States that have at least 50% equity, which is significantly better than what we saw back in 2008. So what's the bottom line? This time supply is extremely low, demand is real and rightly motivated, not fabricated. And even if we saw a drop in housing prices, there is enough homeowners out there that have equity to be able to weather the storm. Hey guys, my name is Ryan with the Rendon Realty Group. Make sure to give me a call if you got any questions. My cell phone number is 210-701-4878. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time.